Hello everybody, Douglas Waltz, Old Man Comic Book Reviews, coming at you with a stack and some specials. Here's the stack. We'll go over the specials later. First up we have Sleeping Beauties number 9. I think it's number 9 of 10. It's adapted by Rio Yours. Art is by Allison Sampson, based on the novel by Stephen and Owen King. I like the artwork. The artwork is weird. There was a spot in here that made me laugh, though, where you probably shouldn't, where it's how many times can you get the word stab in a panel. It's an interesting idea. I don't know what's going on. There's people sleeping. I think it's supposed to be finished next issue. Ladies fall asleep. When they wake up just mad, want to be stabby kind of thing. That pretty much says it all. I don't know. This is the grossest issue, with all the stabbing and the guy getting his jaw ripped off and stuff like that. So this is a good book. I got special stuff I got to show you. I'm going to put that over there. All right. Next up we have from Jim Mahfood, issue 3 of Girl Scouts. It's all Jim Mahfood. There's nobody else doing it. And this one gets just weirder. She is still trying to get her boyfriend's ashes. We found out he gave them away for gambling. The guy wanted his ashes so he could sell them, and then the guy that sold them to, her boyfriend sold them to, he died. So it's just some crazy artwork. I mean, look at this thing. Look at it. It's insane. And it's all Jim Mahfood. If you go to YouTube, apparently, he has a creator corner where he talks you through the comic book process. I am excited to find this other book called, Carl, the Cat That Makes Peanut Butter Sandwiches. So that looked interesting. I'll look into that. There's also an art book coming out soon called One Dangerous Donut. So if you don't like Jim Mahfood, I don't know what to help you with there. I can't help you. Issue 4, we're in DC land, a task force. Here we have, they have probably hidden it. Oh, right up front, cool. Matthew Rosenberg wrote it. Eddie Barrows and Kieran McEwen are the pencils. Aber Ferreira and Dexter Vines are the inks. That's a lot of people on a book. Last issue we found out that the guy in charge is Two-Face. And there are things. There's Mr. Bloom, who we didn't know where he was from. Batman shows up finally, finding out that he wants to take care of business, and Jason's like, no. Red Hood's like, no, I can do it. So that's fun. They have an argument when they fight. Amanda Waller shows up. I hope they keep the book around for a long time. And we find out there's another task force with other bad guys in it that I don't know them. I see Solomon Grundy. I think there's one called Zaz. But they didn't give me a list of who the bad guys are, so you'll have to find till next issue. They'll tell us. Back in Independent Land, issue 3 of the lovely Sheena, Queen of the Jungle, who has been in a enclosed environment looking for this mutant jaguar. Unfortunately, she finds it. Written by Stephen Mooney, art by Jethro Morales. I do love a good Jungle Girl comic book. I cannot help myself. The White Goddess, stuff like that. It's just fun to watch, or in this case, read. So they use the artwork's awesome by the artist. I'm a little worried about the hip to waist proportions on this young lady here. I don't know what happened with that, but that booty goes out. So I like a curvy girl. This one, I think the waist is a little small. So, but it's just a lot of fighting. They're trying to figure out why this jaguar is killing people, but not Sheena. If you read it, it'll tell you actually. Where are we at? Devil's Reign. Did I read this? Yes. Devil's Reign. Part 3 of 6. Sorry, folks. A lot of comic books this week. Writer Chip Zdarsky, artist Marco Cicchetto, assuming I said that right. And it's the bad guys are taking over the city. Good guys are not allowed to be in the city. Luke Cage is running for mayor. So Wilson Fisk, aka the Kingpin, cannot be the mayor. Wilson is still upset about the whole nonsense of not being able to remember who Daredevil is. The Purple Man's kids, I don't know what that's about. They're there to kill Purple Man, so we'll see how that goes. And they did a really cool double cross trick with Iron Man in it that you don't see coming, and then it's pretty good. Doc Ock shows up, and the end of this book, it better not be the end of that particular book. I'll have a problem. So, more Devil's Reign, Winter Soldier, #1. This is just a one-shot. We get our gorgeous artwork is done by the guy on the page I can't get to. Nico Leone. Writers are Jackson Lansing and Colin Kelly. Apparently Wilson Fisk, the Kingpin, is in a mansion secluded away from his new bride, Typhoid Mary, and he has a file that Winter Soldier wants because he has blanks in his memory. And he legitimately just tries to talk Wilson out of the file. Like, dude, I don't want to fight you. He's crazy though, so they fight. So, and this was a big book. This was, $4.99, and it's setting us up for a new Captain America series that looks gorgeous. But this was a good book. Artwork's awesome. Writing's great. Nice setup for a new series coming out. Got to see Winter Soldier fight Wilson Fisk. He'd never fought him before, so he wasn't ready for somebody made out of that much muscle. So, yeah, crazy stuff. Next to last issue, what's that called? Penultimate, of a great kids book, Getting Dizzy. This is written by Shea Fontana, illustrated by Celia Moscote. And Dizzy is a girl who helps find Negatrix. They are in the Negatrixes, yes. And they're trying to take away the skate park so that she can't fight the Negatrixes. And she might have her own Negatrix because she never thinks to look at herself. So this is a great book. She has a little group of friends that are her friends. It's pretty obvious that there's a Negatrix hanging on to Dizzy because she gets kind of nasty in this book. I mean, mean, not that kind of nasty. Shame on you. So, I don't read that, so we won't do that one. So I got two last books before we do the special thing. We get kids' books for my granddaughter. Sophie, Fiona, I'll say it now, you didn't come over this weekend. That's because last weekend we had you for 5 days. This is like the third Owly book. Fourth Owly book. And it's great because his friends can speak. Owly cannot. Although he's telling them a story here, so I don't know how that works. He just talks in pictures more than anything else. And Wormy is afraid of the dragon in the book. And you're like, well, what's the chances of actually running into a dragon? So they go to play ball, and he saw a dragon. It was a possum. And his name is Posse, the possum, Owly the owl. And like all good possums, when he sees Owly, because he gets caught in the cage of Wormy's tree, they put up a cage so it wouldn't get hit by the ball. He sees the owl. Owls eat possum. So he's like freaking out. And there's a lot of sad in the book, but it's very well done. Lots of good pictures. It's a good book. It's a good series. If you have little kids, I would read this without the little kids. And then when sometimes you buy a book for the title, Cracking Me Up by Jeffrey Ebeler, who has a little girl who brings to the pets at the circus show her Kraken. And everyone's afraid of the Kraken. And he's sad that they're afraid of him. And this is a great book. I mean, it's literally written for small children to read. It says, I like to read comics. I don't know if there's a visual for it. Izzy's the girl. And it's got, so it's pretty basic. But the artwork is gorgeous. And did he do all of it himself? 'Cause that's amazing. Yep, he did. All right. So yeah, it's a little pricey, $14.99, but It's a kid's book, so you got those Dr. Seuss's laying around that survived an atomic destruction, I recommend it. All right, finally, for the rest of the world this week, Source Point Press put out a new comic book by Dirk Manning about a wrestling promoter, Tony Schiavone. This is that book. Pretty good, nice and thick. It's gorgeous. I'm going to read it later. No, I've not read it yet. I just got it in the mail today, but I thought you should know about it right now. You can get this version at your local comic book store. I did the Kickstarter. So I have a Batman pin, the old Batman logo, but it says Schiavone. It's a nice metal pin. That's going to go on my coat, or my punk rock vest. And then let me show you some other goodies in here. Because the box came pretty full. My wife's a show-off. She got the t-shirt. I did not. There's a nice poster on some serious paper. We have an autographed book plate that is autographed by Dirk Manning, Tony Schiavone, and Joshua Werner. There is a baseball card, trading card of his dog. There's a other book plate in here that's got a bunch of wrestlers on it.
Aww.
Here, we'll just take everything out. You got that. Oh, I lied. There is a Bug Schiavone, his dog. There is a Tony Schiavone. And I do assume that this would be his wife, Lois.
Aww.
And then a behind, I did not know this was in here. There's a mini, we used to call these back in the day, we would call these ash cans. So it's a behind the scenes comic that explains how Butts and Seats came to be. With Dirk Manning, Tony Schiavone, they break down how you did it. Dirk's very good about showing you the process behind the magic. But that's not the... Okay, these are all fantastic, don't get me wrong. I didn't know I had 3 trading cards, that's awesome. The signed book plate is awesome. The little print is awesome. If it goes back in there, it'll be more awesome. And this poster I know does not go in there, so those are all those. If that was all of it, this would be worth the Kickstarter. But he did it really fast and furious Kickstarter, and this one was a regular Kickstarter. So we decided to make him open up every stretch goal. So because we have every stretch goal, this is the Captain America variant, the Kirby art variant. It's not really Jack Kirby. It has its own gold belt. This is hardcover. And because you're reading a great work of art, in here is, I'm just gonna find it and pull it out. Wish me luck. Maybe. Oh, I got it. Okay. It has the built-in bookmark. The built-in gold bookmark. The artwork is gorgeous. There's 24 different artists on here, so we will not be going over them. Okay, we'll go over them just a minute. They all deserve a pinch. So let's see. Chapter 1 is illustrated by DJ Kaufman. Chapter 2 is illustrated by Sally Scott. Chapter 3 is illustrated by John Marquand. Chapter 4 is Les Garner. Chapter 5, Jan Apple. Chapter 6, Colm Griffin. Chapter 7, Scott James. Chapter 8, Josh Ross. Chapter 9 is Austin McKinley. Chapter 10 is Ricardo Rosana. There's a bonus story which is done by Len O'Grady about Bobby Heenan. There is a bonus story by, I'll apologize now, Mihailo Dmitrovsky. And there's a bonus Sting story by Ani Anian. There's a Ric Flair story, which I'm super excited about, illustrated by Mike Watson. So, this is a great book. We've been waiting patiently. You got it to us in record time for a Kickstarter. It's gorgeous. If all these stories are in here, I'll probably never open this again. I'm just going to put it in my shelf and make everybody look at it and say, isn't that pretty? You can't touch it. So, every so often look for a Kickstarter. Be amazed by the things you can get. Dirk Manning always delivers on his Kickstarters. So if you see a Dirk Manning Kickstarter, not a bad way to go. So until next week, you should go read a comic book, and I will see you next week. Goodbye.